Hare Krishna. Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maharani ki jai. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Gauru Premanandi. Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivaraja Kacharya. Astottara Sata Sri 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 Srivangreya Sabhacharana Ravindra Bhakti Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Nitai Gauru Premanandi. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudiraye Anastaprayashu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama-shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Hare Krishna. Welcome all of you for the Sunday program. And today I've been told to speak on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 5, Text 23-24. Not that. Not that. It's a beautiful chapter. Honestly speaking, most favorite, personally, subject matter, very relevant for me and in general. So I convey my thanks to the authorities here, Harari Chaitanya Prabhuji, all other my God brothers here. Fond memories of this temple for me. Lots of fond memories. Hari Hari. It's a beautiful chapter. How wonderfully the son of a demon, Sri Prahlad Maharaj, so-called son of a demon. Now, how wonderfully summarizing the core secrets of Vedic literatures. Sri Prahlada Uvacha Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakyam Atma Nivedanam Iti Pumsarpita Vishnu Bhaktische Navalakshana Kriyeta Bhagavati Adda Tanmane Ditam Uttamam. Somebody wants to repeat? Vacha Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Pada Sevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakyam Atma Nivedanam Pumsarpita Vishnu Bhaktische Navalakshana Ka Bhagavate Tanmanye Ditamuttamam. Sri Prahlada Uvacha Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakyam Atma Nivedanam Iti Pumsarpita Vishnu Bhaktische Navalakshana Kriyeta Bhagavati Adda Tanmanye Dhitamuttamam. Mataji, anybody? Sri Prahlada Uvacha Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakyam Atma Nivedanam Iti Pumsarpita Vishnu Bhaktische Navalakshana Kriyeta Bhagavati Adda Tanmanye Ditamuttamam. Sri Prahlada Vacha. Prahlad Maharaj said, Shravanam, hearing, Kirtanam, chanting, Vishnu, of Lord Vishnu, not anyone else. Smaranam, remembering, Padasevanam, serving the feet, Archanam, offering worship, of course with 16 kinds of paraphernalia, Vandanam, offering prayers, Dasyam, becoming the servant, Sakyam, becoming the best friend, Atma Nivedanam, surrendering everything, whatever one has, Iti, thus, Pumsarpita, offered by the devotee, Vishnu, unto Lord Vishnu, not to anyone else. Bhakti, devotional service, Chet, if Navalakshana, possessing 9 different processes, Kriyeta, one should perform, Bhagavati, unto the Supreme Lord, Adda, directly or completely, Tat, that, Manye, I consider, Aditam, learning, Uttamam, topmost. Translation. Prahlad Maharaj said, hearing and chanting about the transcendental holy name, form, qualities, paraphernalia, and pastimes of Lord Vishnu remembering him, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, offering the Lord respectful worship with 16 times of paraphernalia, offering prayers to the Lord, becoming his servant, considering the Lord's once best friend, surrendering everything unto him. In other words, serving him with body, mind, and words. These 9 processes are accepted as pure devotional service. One who has dedicated his life unto the service of Krishna through these 9 methods should be understood to be the most learned person, for he has acquired complete knowledge. We repeat this here. How is it? Or not? It's okay. Okay. The purport is only 14 pages. So I thought, I will cover this in the classes. Is that okay? If I read, it will take at least 15 minutes, right? It can be covered in the class. Is that okay, bro? Prakashat Murmu? 14-page purport. Om Agnana Timirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Menaha Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Mukam Karati Vachalam Pangum Langahite Girim Yatrupatam Mahamande Sri Gurum Dinataranam Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Hena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatan Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhyayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahabhadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gaurat Vishe Namaha Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagaditaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Satadevi Pranamami Haripriye Namavum Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Once again, very delighted to be here. I have hundreds of fond memories in this place. Very delighted. One of the, I can say, very dear to my heart, this particular yatra is. Thank you so much for the opportunity. In fact, Srila Prabhupada, Jagat Guru, most merciful Acharya, he is talking about, as per the words from Prahlad Maharaj, the 9 processes as part of devotional service or devotional principles. And any person who somehow assimilates these 9 practices in his life is said to be the most learned Pandita, most learned. Why? Because he has acquired complete knowledge, it seems. We should understand this with clarity. Srila Prabhupada, if you could dig deep in Bhagavad Gita 18.65 and 66, the two core summary of Bhagavad Gita, and in fact the summary of the scriptures, 18.65, 18.66. Prabhupada mentions, we should somehow catch this from an Acharya. He calls it as supreme instruction. He calls that as supreme secret. He calls that as most confidential knowledge. We should understand, these are the words Srila Prabhupada used. Supreme instruction, supreme secret, most confidential knowledge. What are those? One is the surrendering process. One is the surrendering process. Surrender unto me. What do you mean by surrender unto me? Means follow his instructions. Surrender to a person means follow his instructions. What instructions? Instructions as given in Bhagavad Gita. And what does he expect? 18.65. Manmana bhava mad bhakto. Become my devotee. Think of me always. Offer homage unto me. Right? Then you are going to come to me without fail. No doubt about it. Without fail. He uses that word. Same thing here has been very nicely elaborated by one of the 12 Mahajanas, Sri Prahlad Maharaj. Sri Prahlad Maharaj ki very nicely explains. In fact, Prabhupada in the purport uses this sloka, Bhaktir Pareshanu Bhavo Viraktir Anyatracha. This is the symptom of a pure devotee, it seems, Shuddha Bhakta. This is the symptom. What are his symptoms? He's interested only in executing these 9 processes of devotional service. Pure devotee is interested only in executing these 9 processes of devotional service and not at all interested in material affairs. This is one of the symptoms of a pure devotee. Here, another beautiful thing the sloka says is, Pum Sharpita Vishnu. Pum Sharpita. Pumsha means by all living entities. Pumsha, this is a point to be noted here. Pumsha means by all living entities. That means execution of these 9 devotional practices could be adhered and enacted by all living entities, just like Srila Prabhupada made this world. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada made this world. Irrespective of caste, creed, sex, nation, he just opened the floodgate of Mahaprabhu. Chalo, execute. And this is supported. Srila Prabhupada's act is supported here. Pumsarpita. Pumsa means by all living beings, no distinction, man, brahmana, women, no, nothing like that. Anybody, it may be Striyo Vaishya Tata Shudra, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Striyo Vaishya Tata Shudra, doesn't matter. Ultimately, what is that? Samsiddhi Haritoshanam. We can be anybody. Brahmachari, Grihastha, Stri, Vaishya, Shudra, doesn't matter. Execute these 9 principles. What is the objective? The common objective adhered when the strict, Varnashrama Dharma was enacted is Samsiddhi Haritoshanam. Whoever he may be, whichever class, whichever Varna. Bottom line is, am I pleasing Lord Vishnu? Samsiddhi Haritoshanam. Everybody has to please Lord Vishnu. And finally, the beauty of executing Bhagavata principles is, if everybody, a Shudra, a Vaishya, Stri, Chandala, he may be dog eater, right? He may be a dog eater. If he follows Vaishnava principle, he can be accepted as a guru. Everybody goes on the same plane actually. Same Pushpakamana, they'll go back to Godhead. This is Bhagavata Dharma, and this has been very profoundly preached by Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki And also another important word Prabhupada picks here is Bhagavati Adda. That means he says offering everything to Lord Vishnu directly. No question of indirect offering actually. He mentions about some
people or many people who follows karma kanda, wherein they don't offer to the Lord directly, they offer to whomever they want. Some portion they give to Vishnu also, but that is not the case here. That is not the case here. What they say? Kaya, Vacha Manasa, just like a Tridandi sannyasi. 3 we says is Kaya Vacha Manasa. Just like a sannyasi offers his words, mind, and activities to Lord Vishnu, anybody for that matter, any executor of devotional principles should offer himself to the Lord, and then of course the activities also to the Lord. Not an indirect way the karma kandis, do it actually. That is the word referred here. Adda. And also look at how beautifully Prabhupada writes so sweetly. Once sincere endeavor to perform the 9 processes of devotional success is technically called bhakti. Right? This is bhakti means executing 9 devotional principles. And Prabhupada technically defines this word bhakti. How does he say? Once sincere endeavor. That is the point to be noted. Not simply endeavor. Sincere urge to execute these 9 principles. Sincere endeavor to perform these 9 processes of devotional service is technically called bhakti. He defines so nicely. It is technically called bhakti. And also, point to be noted, especially by the followers of ISKCON and of course other Vaishnava Parampara, if this execution of the 9 devotional principle is not unalloyed, if it is tainted or allied with some material expectation, Srila Prabhupada has cautioned, especially ISKCON devotees. You know what is that? While executing these 9 principles of bhakti, if that expectation of unallied nature is kept away, and the nature of some expectation, some sort of, thing comes in between, most of the ISKCON devotees may be promoted to the heavenly planets, which we don't want to face it actually. Krishna's sake, we don't want to face it. So that is why that's why the word is given, sincere endeavor to perform or execute these 9 devotional practices in an unalloyed consciousness. That is another point we should understand. And also Prabhupada says this bhakti, what Sri Prahlad Maharaj is trying to explain here is, he also compares it to nishkarma, right? Karma is material activity. Nishkarma, freedom from the results of, or freedom from fruitive activities. That's what he mentions. Also, before getting into the 9 processes of devotional service, Prabhupada says all these 9 processes generally not at all required. All these 9 put together, just like who is that? Bali Maharaj or maybe Amrish Maharaj executed. At least one, they say, PhD in particular subject matter, right? So at least in one subject, if you master, if you stick to it, Srila Prabhupada says all other things will be smartly covered within its things. It is not the devotee only chants and it doesn't look at the Lord, or doesn't remember the Lord. It's not like that. 9 ways are given so that the devotees can take anyone, master in that. Ultimately, it will be somehow covered. That's what Prabhupada says here. He says, you see, when a devotee executes any one of the 9 processes, this is sufficient. The other 8 processes are included. Somehow it will be included. And also, okay, that's how he says. Now he slowly gets into a big purport. He has given a 13 pages of huge purport. I'm telling you, so wonderful. First, personally, I thought it is so wonderful that, I've been given opportunity to speak. What a purification for me. Thankful to the authorities again. He's talking about the first Shravanam. How wonderful Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada has given prominence for oral reception in our organization. Extremely important. In fact, it has been told that we know that Panchendriya. We are all masters here. Many of them are preachers. I'm just giving you as a revision. I know that all are preachers here. Huh? I need not give something new. I'm just come here to give revision to you. That's all. What new I can give. Among these five senses, here has got a pivotal place, it seems. We should understand. Ears, among these five senses, it has got a pivotal place. Even the softest noise can be enough to wake up sleeping person. This is the words Prabhupada used. Even a softest noise, or maybe whatever it is, it's enough to wake up a sleeping person. The real analogy is the person who is sleeping madly engulfed in materialism, material activities. He can be woken up by a nice Shabda Brahma, nice sounds of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nice sound of Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. Nice sound from not Sarpochistam Yatapaya. It is from a Vaishnava from whom we could hear and get transformed. These are all the things that is mentioned here. So Prabhupada says, especially on the first part, Shravanam, there are many subject matters in the society, sir. So many. It may be political, scientific, economics, social, etc., etc. But Srila Prabhupada says, look at the poor fund of knowledge in these people, especially the people of Kali Yuga. They speak, they talk everything, but which is the one which kicks us, which bothers us day in and day out? Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi is left out. There is no laboratory for this. There is no R&D section for this. There is no people who does PhDs on this in IASCs, etc., etc. Nobody. But that is the main point actually. We may say happy birthday to you, but everything starts from happy birthday. That you should understand. Right? Everything starts from there. Prabhupada mentions here, these four things, they have kept it outside. Smartly or maybe ignorantly or what foolishly, they have kept it outside. They should understand these four things are the one which gives us great miseries. And also, it has been told that in spiritual circle, in the spiritual circle, in a dignified spiritual circle, hearing is given the topmost priority. That is why Prabhupada wanted, come here, sit and hear. India today has given up the propensity to hear Srimad Bhagavatam from a bona fide source. Look at the degradation of India. Mera Bharat Mahan, we say. Correct? Mera Bharat Mahan. And look at what is happening in India today. Because hearing propensity is lost, sir. It is lost. It is lost. Here it is told, in spiritual circles, hearing is most highly regarded means for Atma Sakshatkara. For self-realization, hearing is the greatest source. That is what Prahlad Maharaj is telling about Shravanam. And especially, consistently hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, which talks about the great Lord, Jagannath, which talks about his devotees, has to be inculcated as an outfit in our life. Right? For that reason, look at what he is trying to say. For that reason, here is said to be the gateway of liberation, it seems. Just like we say, no, gateway of India. Correct? Gateway of this, gateway of ITPL, etc. So many things we speak. Electronic city. So many things we here, the gateway to liberation is mentioned. The gateway to liberation is ears. How nicely ears are glorified by Srila Prabhupada. Because if you are fortunate enough to hear the transcendental sound, the vibration of the Lord's holy name, and the glorification of devotees, these ears open the door of the heart, it seems. When you hear from a bona fide source, darwaze, the heart's Door gets opened, it seems, so that Lord Jagannath come and reside there actually. That is the beauty of here, which has been misused. You see today, you see in metro, you see in bus station, everybody is busy hearing. So busy hearing. In Kannada we say Bayaludari. Same hearing process, unwanted sound takes towards degradation, it seems. Same hearing process, which is legitimate sound, takes us back home, it seems. It's a common hearing process that we have to choose. And also, again, yes, and we also spoke about hearing has to be properly chosen to be from a bona fide devotee, right? That is another thing. So these are all some of the things which Srila Prabhupada mentions, highlighting the importance of Shravana, hearing. Okay. So now, and also in the Shravanam, yes, in the Shravanam, Srila Prabhupada okay, slowly moves towards the second activity, which is Kirtanam. Kirtanam means it can be chanting the holy names or glorifying the Vedic literatures or glorifying the devotees. This are all comes under this particular category. And also, Kirtanam, especially here, Prabhupada says, it is recommended that such chanting should be performed very loudly, correct? That is why we ISKCON devotees are known for chanting the Mahamantra, Kirtans very loudly. That is recommended here. And another catch point Prabhupada gives. When we are chanting this, we have come across devotees saying, I've taken a vow for 12 rounds or 16 rounds. Money nahi hai, pata. I don't feel like, I don't feel energized. I don't get the taste to chant. Some of the things we hear, correct? It's a normal thing actually. Or sometimes they give up chanting this. What may be the reason? The catch point given is about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's third sloka of Sikshastakam. That is the catch point Prabhupada says. When a person can constantly, regularly chant the Harinam, when he considers himself lesser than a blade of grass or lower than a blade of grass. Very tough, na? How can we be less than a blade of grass here? Come on, too much for to digest. What do you say, Gopinath? Huh? Kya bol rahe aap? Lesser than a blade of grass. That is the qualification for a person who can constantly chant. Very tough, huh? Very tough. That means what expectation from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is, my dear sir, madam, give up all your upadhis, put it in the BBMP dustbin first. No upadhis is going to work in executing devotional service. Throw everything in dustbin. Narottam Das Thakur, whenever he used to compose the literatures, he used to feel, why you are making my law to write these things? How can I glorify you? I feel ashamed. I feel like the entity which is there on top of my stool, and you are trying to force me to write literatures. How can I write? Who is talking this? Narottam Das Thakur. Glorious Acharya in our lineage. He is talking like that. We should come to that stage. We should copy that. At least if you are not real, at least thoda Air India ki tarah thoda, ya kya bolte hai, like hair hostesses ki tarah, we have to enact, oh please come, please take your seat, at least we should learn being humble. First, enact, thoda natak karo pehle, baad mein let that become sachai. Tharoropi sahishnuna. Be more tolerant than a tree. If you go and stand in front of a tree, especially during summer, you will know why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu glorifies the trees. Very difficult here. Ekadashi, fasting is very easy, madam. Very easy. Any sort of activity, very easy. Working together with the devotees. Arey bapre. Pucho mat. Don't ask me, huh? Don't ask me. That is what Prabhupada and my Guru Maharaj, he always stresses. If you really want to please me, and if you really want to show you care for me, and you really want to prove yourself as a Vaishnava, learn to work together, sir, first of all. Learn to work together. There you exhibit your Sahishnuta, tolerance, not while giving Bhagavatam class. That should come into practice. Tarurapi Sahishnuna. Amanina Manadena, Pucha Mat. It is too much. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says only 8 slokas. And look at this. Amanina Manadena. Somebody says, I don't care, but still I should say Hare Krishna. Somebody may say, get lost. Still I should say Hare Krishna. Hare Baba, I both mushkil hai. Yes or no? Amanina Manadena. We have to come to that stage, sir. Human life is for that actually. We have to come to that stage. Kirtaniya Sadahare. If such consciousness is possessed in a practitioner, he can constantly chant this Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And these names, anybody, he may be physically unfit, classified low class, devoid of all material qualification. Kuch qualification nahi hai, ekdam bekar aadmi. He may not have any accumulation of pious activities. They're all qualified to chant the mantra given by Mahaprabhu, it seems. That is what Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada did. He has given these names. Chant karo. And Janmaishwarya Shuta Shri, aristocratic birth, advanced education, beautiful bodily feature, wealthiness. Is a qualification, nice, sir. Not a qualification. Anybody can take by the direction of an Acharya and our Paramacharya, Shriman Chaitanya Mahaprabhu direction. Anybody can take. That's what Srila Prabhupada has nicely done. And what happens? If one chant in this mood, what happens? He can advance very quickly, it seems. Very quickly. This is a checkpoint. Because Kali Yuga, you see, Kali Yuga, people short-lived. We know that, right? Extremely bad in their habits, it seems. Extremely bad in their habits. Inclined to accept methods of devotional service that are not bona fide. That easily they are misguided. Correct? Always disturbed, sir. Always disturbed. So much management, I mean, the project management, delivery managemental activities we do. Why? Because the project should not bomb actually. Same thing is there in our life also. So much we do just to ensure I should not be harmed actually. But here it has been told, always people will be disturbed. And mostly unfortunate, it seems. They are not fortunate. So unfortunate. They come in touch with Acharya. They come in touch with Jagannath. But sometimes they get fizzled out. Lord Shiva says, unfortunate people. Most unfortunate. Right? So nothing works, sir. Nothing works in Kali Yuga. Nothing works. It need not be Yagna, Dhana, Kriya, or it may be anything, Thapa. Nothing works. Only Harinam works. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And again, another checkpoint Prabhupada gives. And he was a very smart person, smart personality. Sirf Harinam karo bola. Baad mein so many things he added. 10 offenses. Pranadapi suni chahiye na. Baad mein 10 offenses. Harinam karo, very simple. Harinam karo. Baad mein 10 offenses. Right? We have to safeguard. We have to ensure this is not done. Why? Because the ultimate fruit of devotional service, Krishna Prema, it's very difficult to catch. 10 offenses. Every day we read this actually. Every day we hear Bhagavata Mangalarti mein. But the question is, how much we are following, sir? How much we are inheriting? All right? That is very important. To blaspheme a devotee who has dedicated his life for propagating the holy names of the Lord. Criticizing others, blaspheming others. It's a very nice pastime. Yeah. How can I stay without criticizing others? You tell me. Mushkil hai yaar. Bahut mushkil hai. Huh? Prasadam, one time I'll give. I'll stay till fasting till noon, but without criticizing others, without fault finding. Are, how it is possible, madam? Not possible. But Mahaprabhu says, this is a must for us. Mahaprabhu says two things. Two things. I want to read this. Satya Satya Muni Tare Uddhari Bo Hele. He speaks in Bengali. Satya Satya. He says, listen to me. What I say is the truth. Who says? Sriman Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Twice he says, Satya Satya. Listen to me. What I am telling is the truth. What I am telling is the truth. Please listen. What are the things? He says two things. We should keep in mind the practicing Vaishnavas and the Vaishnavis. One is constantly chant the Harinam. Constantly chant the Harinam. These 16 names, especially these 16 names. Don't criticize others. Rather, glorify Jagannath. Rather, glorify the Lord's devotees. Right? Lastly, he says, don't criticize. Criticism means finding fault. Criticizing others means finding fault. Don't do this. Don't do this. It is none of my business. If somebody does wrong, it is none of my business. They say, no, scope, out of scope. Project scope, out of scope. It is not within my scope, sir. It is none of my business. Let them do mistake. If you can correct, correct. If they rectify, rectify. If they don't rectify, Hare Krishna. That's all. Let me dig deep. Like what Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, look at the frailty within rather than looking at others. Look at here. So many doshas. Wash it off. Take time to wash off because you have a beautiful human life. Why are you looking at others' mistakes? Right? Mahaprabhu says, constantly chant the Mahamantra and don't criticize. Then what does Mahaprabhu says? Try to understand. I vow this is the truth. I will personally deliver anyone who avoids criticizing others and chants Mahamantra. Sriman Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Try to understand this. Try to understand. Renouncing criticism of others, everyone please chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. I will personally deliver anyone who avoids criticizing others and who always chants mantra. Satya Satya. I say this is the truth. And I say this is the truth. Sriman Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sirf jap karo, criticism or fault finding mat karo. This is what we were supposed to follow. So like this, there are, of course, we should never consider Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma to be equal to. Nobody can be equal. Very nicely it is told actually. Brahma is said to be the son, Mukkanna Mammaganante. It has been told, Purandara Das sangs actually. Mukkanna, that means a three-eyed person. Lord Shiva is a grandson of the Lord actually. Mukkanna Mammaganante. In Kannada, it has been told. So it's like that. So nobody can be equal to Lord Vishnu. So that is, if you possess such mentality, it's an offense. Right? To disobey the orders of the spiritual master. We should understand what spiritual master expects from us. What are his desires? How can I satisfy that acharya? That should be there in our consciousness always. He need not come and explicitly says, oh, Srila Prabhupada, oh, Bhaktivedanta Swami, go to West and preach Harinam. No. We should understand as human beings what are his desires, what he expects from us. Right? Ensure we follow his instructions and never consider Gurusu Naramatir. Never consider him as ordinary person, extremely offensive. constantly chanting, this Kirtana will not happen by these things. And sometimes we may blame Vedic literatures because kitna instructions hai yaar, kaise follow karo? We may blame Vedic instructions. Avoid that. Or glories of holy names has some exaggeration. Bahut kuch bol rahe bolo. Srila Prabhupada. So many things he's talking. Imagination. No, it is not imagination. And interpreting the holy name in or glories of the holy name in some way according to our whims. No. Holy name cleanses, uproots our sins. Oh, is it? Very nice. Thoda sinful activities weekend mein karte hai na. Then let us chant the Maha Mantra. There is a offensive mentality. Comparing the holy name to some of the wonderful activity as given in Karma Kanda, offensive mentality. Harinam sabko preach karna hai, right? But sometimes we go and talk to the faithless person. It's told that we are not supposed to preach to the faithless person. You should be cautious about it. And also, not to give up material attachments, even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. We have to, sir, slowly. At least if you cannot give up, nirbandhe krishna sambandhe yukta vairagya muchate. We have to ensure yukta vairagya is adhered to and followed to. These are all some of the 10 things which we keep hearing. I told no, you are all experts. I'm just giving as a revision. These are all the things we should keep when you have to constantly chant the second thing, which is Kirtana. What is the time now? 9:20. Okay, I'll quickly try to finish. The third one is Smarana. Srila Prabhupada, Prahlad Maharaj, the person who is talking, he himself is a PhD in Smarana, right? Shravana is Parikshit Maharaj. Kirtana is Sukamuni. Smarana, he himself, he is expert, Prahlad Maharaj. He's talking about Smarana actually. He's also, Prabhupada says, thinking about the Lord. Thinking about the Lord can be sometimes devotees, they meditate and they do research, it seems, how I can serve the deities well. How I can serve the Lord and his devotees well. For research, pura dimag mein hi hota hai. That is Smaranam, it has been told. Withdrawing the mind and focusing on one particular subject matter is Smaranam. Concentration upon a particular form of the Lord is meditation. Smaranam. Meditation. And also, concentrating the mind continuously on the same form, it is said to be deeper meditation or perfect meditation. That is Smarana. And also, concentration upon a particular form as a natural, propensity or a likening, it is said to be Samadhi. That is also Smarana. There are so many stages in Smarana. He says, in short, Smarana is also accepted. Rather than Smarana of Shah Rukh Khan, Aishwarya Rai, etc. Why not Smarana of the Lord when you are sitting in an office, when you are going to sleep, etc., etc. This we have to inculcate. That's what Prahlad Maharaj is mentioning. Slowly, Prabhupada goes to Pada Sevanam. Extremely beautiful, actually. Pada Sevanam. One obtains the perfection, when one obtains the perfection of Smarana, remembering. In fact, he says, one obtains the perfection of the previous one, remembering when constantly thinks of the lotus feet of the Lord. That means you see the overlap. Prabhupada smartly told, no, sirf ek karo. Then he is also telling, ye kiya to pura, it will be there. Everything will be there. Now he is telling, previous Smaranam, perfection can be obtained by always thinking about the Lord's lotus feet. Pada Sevanam. Pada Sevanam can be seeing the Lord in the temple, touching the form of the Lord, circumambulating the temple, or even visiting holy dhams like Jagannath Puri, Mathura, Vrindavan is Pada Sevanam. Prabhupada says, it is Pada Sevanam. Also bathing in Ganga and Yamuna, serving the Vaishnavas, worshipping Tulsi, worshipping Ganga, Yamuna, they are all comes under the category of Pada Sevana. It is called as Tadiya Upasanam. Right? Another way, basically. These are all comes under Pada Sevanam, which we do. And it's been told here, all these processes of Pada Sevanam helps one advance in spiritual life very quickly. That's why Yatra ko jana hai. You have to take bath in the river. Serve the Vaishnavas, sir. Serve the Vaishnavas. The best form of serving the Vaishnavas, can anybody say? The best ultimate form of serving the Vaishnava. Can anybody say here? Huh? Pada Puja. Hearing, following the instructions. Pada Puja, hearing, sorry? Mahaprasadam ki jai. In fact, it has been told in the scripture, in the entire 14 planetary system, I repeat, in the entire 14 planetary system, there is no seva better than putting grains on the tongue of a Vaishnava, the highest. Highest. Pour the grains on a Vaishnava. That is highest. And you know, Akshayam, it has been told as the result is Akshayam. Akshayam means unlimited. That means our bank account mein pura paisa hamesha ke liye. When you constantly serve or put grains on the Vaishnavas, highest activity. Right? That we should keep in mind. That is why, that is Pada Sevanam. That is Pada Sevana according to Srila Prabhupada. Then he goes to Archanam, the glorious deity worship, which Srila Prabhupada made it as world famous. Yeah. World famous deity worship. How sweet Srila Prabhupada made it. It's been told here, of course, you know, like for us, Pancharatrika Vidhi is very much recommended. May not be Bhagavata system is also there, but somehow for the people of this age, Pancharatrika Vidhi, Prabhupada suggests from Sri Narada Muni, another Mahajana, right? And here, specific instructions for the householders, specifically. It's not that Brahmachari Kulya they have kept aside. No, specifically for Grihasthas. It's been told about Pancharatrika Vidhi. If a Grihastha has got a lot of opulence to worship the deity, you should worship opulently, it seems. He cannot say Patram Pushpam Phalam Thoyam. You know, it's okay, yeah. If Krishna also gives salary Patram Pushpam Phalam Soyam, what do you feel? Huh? Salary pura take home jada na hai. But here Patram Pushpam Phalam Thoyam. So it has been told, especially if a grihasthas are opulent enough, it should be royal, just like Ambarish Maharaj used to serve. Royal, it seems. If not, he is considered to be a miser, Krupana, Jipana antavela Kannadadalli. And again, look at here. One should not engage paid brahmanas for deity worship. Srila Prabhupada says, not Ravindra Nitai. And he has been told, if one does not personally worship the Lord, but engage as paid servants, he is considered lazy, and the worship of deities is to be dikhava hai, artificial. And hence, householders worshipping the deity is compulsory. Compulsory. Householders worshipping the deity is compulsory, without any exception. Discount hi nahi hai. Because brahmacharis, vanaprasthas, sannyasis, they'll be held up in their own activities in the temple, preaching mein, or vanaprastha getting ready to becoming sannyasa, etc. But the only people who are caught is grihasthas. Grihasthas, here in Bhagavatam, Prabhupada says, who are all especially second initiated, come to the temple and serve the Lord without a fail. Come and serve the deities. That is why this thread is given by our Guru. Come and serve here. Look at what Srila Prabhupada says. If they do not take to deity worship, hear carefully, if they do not take to deity worship, their fall down is positively assured. Asamshaya. We hear no in scripture. Asamshaya. Nasteva, 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 Gatere, like that. It is positively guarantee assured. No deity worship, they'll fall down. That is why you see in the society today. Earlier, puja room was the center of the house. Today, no puja room in apartments. That is the advancement in civilization. Here he says, if there is no deity worship, their fall down is positively assured. We should be very careful. Prabhupada summarizes in Nectar of Devotion. Nowadays, weekend activity, chili chicken, fried chicken, Kentucky fried chicken, etc., etc. Weekend activities you see. They dance in the club. They need beer to get a kick for themselves and to get so-called sleep, actually. You know why? The actual propensity of an Atma is to dance, actually. Not only to serve, actually to dance also. If you don't dance in front of Jagannath, we have to go and dance there. That is what is the alternative. And Prabhupada and this glorious organization is giving chance for everybody to please come and dance here, so that you need not dance there. You need not dance there. Deity worship is so prominent, actually. All unwanted activities, cigarettes, alcohol, women, liquor, clubs, etc., etc. Unwanted filth gets automatically evaporated like a camphor, it seems, burnt camphor, because of Archana Vidhi. That is the beauty of Archana Vidhi. That's what, we are supposed to follow. There are so many to-dos are there, but I don't know. It is already 9:30. But I thought, because this yatra is very dear to me. Narayana Chaitanya Prabhu, Mathurasham Prabhu, all my devout God brothers, God sisters. I know that beautiful temple is coming up. Shri Radha Krishna ki. Beautiful temple is coming up. I thought, let me do some squirrels seva. Alil seva, they say, squirrels seva, right? Squirrels, like during Ramachandra's time, he was not able to lift huge rocks. He used to put little bit pebbles. I thought I should read the to-dos, the do's and don'ts of deity worship. But 9:30, I'm scared. I have to rush now, actually. Can we discuss? Because you are all worshipping Radha Krishna now, Jagannath, you have to assist Narari Prabhu in this temple. You should listen what are all the to-dos of a deity worship. Okay. There are some offenses which we should avoid while doing deity worship. To enter the temple with shoes. Not to observe the prescribed festivals. To avoid offering obeisances in front of the deity. To offer prayer in an uncleaned state of mind. That means without washing the mouth or without washing the hands, in such a state. To offer obeisances in one hand. It is very famous in, ISKCON circle. Ek haath mein japamala. So they are very busy. Offering obeisances in one hand. To circumambulate directly in front of the devotee. Actually, when circumambulate the temple, they will do. That is an offense. Educate devotees. To sit before the deity, showing one's leg. To sit before the deity while holding one's ankles with one's hand. To lie down in front of the deity. Nai Prabhu, yoga nidra mein tha main. Lie down in front of the deity. To eat before the deity. To speak lies before the deity. To address loudly before the deity. To talk nonsense before the deity. To cry before the deity. To argue before the deity. To chastise somebody before the deity. To show favor in front of the deity. Don't think, I'm Mehuna, I'll take care. To show some favor in front of the deity. To use harsh words in front of the deity. To wear a woolen blanket in front of the deity. To blaspheme someone before the deity. To worship someone before the deity. To use vulgar language before the deity. To pass the stomach's air in front of the deity. To avoid very opulent worship of the deity. To avoid offering fresh fruits to the deity according to the season. to sit and show one's back to the deity, not to chant proper prayers in front of the deity, to blaspheme the demigods, because we are all great worshippers of Supreme Lord, no? Right? We're all great worshippers of Supreme Lord. Sometimes we belittle demigods, nothing doing. We cannot belittle even a Chandala. What about the demigods? That's why it's given to blaspheme the demigods. We have to be very careful not to blaspheme. These are all the 32 offenses that has been mentioned, it seems. Varaha Purana talks about something else. I want especially the deity worship seers to hear carefully. To eat in the house of a rich man, it seems. To enter the deity room in the dark. To worship the deity without following 4 regulative principles. Nahi chalega. To enter the temple without vibrating any sound. To collect food that has been seen by a dog. To break silence by offering worship to the deity. To go to the toilet during the time of worshipping the deity. To offer incense without offering flowers. Incense and flowers should go together. That means it should be there. It should be there. To worship the deity with forbidden flowers. To worship without washing one's teeth properly. To be in worship after sex. To touch a lamp, dead body of a woman during menstrual period, and then coming to the worship. To use unwashed cloth, when we go in front of the deity. There are so many things like to show anger in front of the deity. Okay, coming and worshipping immediately after returning from a crematorium. Eating without getting properly digested, coming in front of the deity and worshipping, we should keep in mind. So these are all some of the offenses we should keep in mind, it seems. Lastly, I would like to read other offenses also, because I know that you're all becoming deity worshippers of this wonderful Radha Krishna temple. To be against the scriptural injunctions. Injunctions are there in the scriptures, but refuting that is an offense. To introduce different Shastra. Prabhupada ka Shastra todo, mera Shastra suno. Introducing different Shastra, it is an offense. To chew pan and beetle before the deity. To keep flowers of worship on a leaf of a castor oil plant. I don't know what is this. To worship the deity in the afternoon should be avoided. To sit on the altar or to sit on the floor without having a mat, that should be kept in mind. To touch the deity with the left hand while bathing the deity. To worship the deity with a stale or a worn out, I can say, a very used flower. To spit while worshipping the deity. To advertise one's glory while worshipping the deity. That means you keep praising yourself in front of the deity. To enter the temple without washing one's feet. And also, please, let's try to understand. To offer the food, deity food, cooked by an uninitiated person. Uninitiated person cannot cook to the deity. And also to offer worship while perspiring when sweat is there. To refuse flowers offered to the deity, or to take a vow or oath in front of the deity. Praman karta hu main. It's a television serial kerala ko. Not here. Vow or oath in front of the deity. No. These are all some of the things that we should keep in mind when we execute devotional service. Deity worship. So now we have, let's go in a fast track mode actually. The 6th one is Vandanam. In fact, although prayers are part of the deity worship, when we sing, we'll sing in front of the Lord. It's part. There is overlap. You cannot just delineate, segregate that. It says all the prayers are part of the deity worship. They may be considered separately like any other item, standalone. It is considered separately. In fact, it is told that the Lord has unlimited transcendental qualities and opulences. And one who feels inspired by the Lord's qualities in various activities can offer wonderful prayers to the Lord. In this way, he becomes successful, it seems. We need not put a बैठ के हमको poem लिखने का जरूरत नहीं है. Whatever the acharyas like Bhakti Thakur, Narottam Das has given, no, use it and do it, will become successful, it seems. Chant the prayers which the acharyas are written. That is about Vandanam. Vandanam, who is the Vandanam? Basically, deity worship is Prithu Maharaj. Vandanam, Akrura. Akrur Maharaj was expert in offering glorious prayers and he achieved his destiny, spiritual destiny by Vandanam. Dasyam. Dasyam is, it's been told, after many, many thousands of births, when one comes to understand that he is an eternal servant of Krishna. Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudarlabha. It's been told here, after many, many thousands of births, when one comes to the understanding that he is the eternal servant of Krishna, he can start deliver people from this universe, it seems, just by getting convinced that I am an eternal Nityara Krishnera Nityadas. I'm an eternal servant of the Lord. If he is completely convinced about this start, this person can start delivering the people in this universe, it seems. Look at what Srila Prabhupada writes. If one simply continues to think that he is an eternal dasa or servant of the Lord, even without performing any other processes of devotional service, he can attain full success. Dasyam ki jai. And also, let's go to the last two, Sakyam. It's been told in Agastya Samhita, Prabhupada quotes about Agastya Samhita, "Oh my Lord, Supreme Lord, eternal friend," that is the point, eternal friend, my Lord, eternal friend, though you are full of bliss and knowledge, you have somehow become the friends of the residents of Vrindavana. How fortunate those devotees are. Here, Prabhupada says, the word friend is extremely important because friend or friendship means intense love, it seems. Look at what Srila Prabhupada says. Why Dasya is said to be more than, why Sakya is said to be more than Dasya is because of friendship developed. Friendship means intense love, prema, intense love exhibited by the devotee. That is why Sakyam is said to be more glorious than Dasya. Lastly, Atma Nivedanam. The word Atma Nivedanam refers to the stage at which one has no more motive other than to serve the Lord, and he surrenders everything to the Lord, performs activities only to please the Lord and no other expectations are. That is Atma Nivedanam. And Prabhupada says, this gloriously exhibited by Bali Maharaj, Ambarish Maharaj. And also he says, Atma Nivedanam is also sometimes found in the behavior of Mother Rukmini Devi, it seems. She was so wonderful. Rukmini Maya ki. She exhibited this Atma Nivedanam actually, right? Atma Nivedanam means to understand Kaya Vacha Manasa Visena, words, bodily actions, and thought processes, everything to the Lord. That is Atma Nivedam. Prabhupada gives very nicely. And before I end this particular class, I want to inform my dear God brothers, God sisters, and all the well-wishers here, cousin God brothers, cousin God sisters. There are 6 doshas because generally we take the shelter of Harinam. Are Harinam karta hu, sab nikal jata hai. There are 6 doshas which even Harinam cannot erase it. Let us listen. 6 doshas which even Harinam can erase, but it will not come to that jurisdiction. What are those 6? Considering spiritual master as ordinary. Gurusu Naramati. Is ordinary. Yeah? Considering spiritual master as ordinary. Vaishnava Jati Buddhi. This Vaishnava belongs to this particular caste. Vaishnava Jati Buddhi. What is the first one? Archa Vishnum Shiladir. Considering the deity of Jagannath is a wood, stone. Third dosha. Not honoring the prasadam properly as the way it should be honored. Considering the Charanamrita as ordinary water. Considering the holy name as ordinary. These 6 things, doshas, even Harinam cannot evaporate, it seems. Let's keep in mind. What are those? Spiritual master as ordinary. Vaishnava belong to some caste here. Thakur hai, Baniya hai, Gaudas hai, etc. Deity as a stone or a wood. Not honoring prasadam properly. Considering Charanamrita as some ordinary water. Harinam is also some ordinary things. These are all 6 things we should keep in mind. Even Harinam cannot protect us. So let us keep all these things in mind. So with all these explanations, I want to end my class. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. If there are any questions, any comments, please hear it.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji, for the wonderful class. Initially, you were mentioning that a pure devotee is one who exclusively performs the 9 activities of devotion service and nothing else. So, myself and in general for Grihasthas who are also working in the outside world in their occupation, when it is not directly Krishna karma, like they have an outside occupation where they earn, and yes, they offer the sacrifice like in charity. But other than that, during that process, like how one can remember the Lord, how one can be in that right consciousness as they're performing their, because oftentimes it becomes little challenging, we become so engrossed and involved in those activities.
What's your name, Prabhu?
Sarvatma Rishikesh Das.
Sarvatma Prabhu. Beautiful question. Very practical, very relevant. I'm a Grihastha, sir. I have to work outside. Without me working Grihasthas, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Sannyasi, Vanaprastha cannot exist. Because of me, they all exist. Because I had to work as a Grihastha. But how do I inculcate these 6 things as an outfit? 9 principles of devotional service. Example, what we could do is, when a boy is in love, so-called love with a girl, you go and ask him. Just like we say, no, like, jab kab karna hai? Morning ek bar, afternoon ek bar, ya sham ko? Kab karna hai? They ask actually. But you ask the same boy, दिन में कितनी बार सोचते हो? Morning, afternoon or evening? He says, मेरा पूरा दिमाग खोया रहता है. I'm fully submerged in her thoughts. Why? Because that person is extremely important to him in his life, extremely helpful he thinks. That means he has understood the person. So what I'm trying to say is, when you want to be like that boy, understand the person whom we are worshipping through the spiritual master. What is this person? Jagannath. Understand this personality. If you understand him as it is, you will become completely submerged actually. You will not get time for doing other nonsense actually. That is the first lesson. Second is, I use the word Nirbande, Krishna Sambande, Yukta Vairagyam Uchate. Prabhupada says Yukta Vairagya. Dovetailing everything in the service of the Lord. Very important, especially for Grihasthas. Eating is the first activity. Imagine after this class, after Haribol, please go home without prasadam. Kaise lagega? Disappointment, right? Tongue. Food is very important. Rather than eating, you see, just go around in the town, you see, everybody is pouring panipuris, pouring gobi manchuris, pouring, just like a road roller, no? They'll put like this, no? This on the machine, like that, you see, everybody is pouring. Very difficult. Not easy. That is why Harinam is necessary, Prasadam is necessary. So rather than eating bhoga, please offer. That can be done. Now, when you eat, stomach will be filled. When the stomach is full only, we'll start acting like heroes here. Heroes, heroine. Udayavadare ಊಟದ ಚಿಂತೆ, ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ ಭೋಗದ ಚಿಂತೆ, 14 ಲೋಕ ಆಳುವ ಚಿಂತೆ. ಪುರಂದರದಾಸರು. ಉದಯವಾದರೆ ಊಟದ ಚಿಂತೆ. When the sun rises, first I want prasadam. ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ ಭೋಗದ ಚಿಂತೆ. Once you are taken food, थोड़ा भोग भी रहे तो कैसे रहता है आराम के लिए. 14 ಲೋಕ ಆಳುವ ಚಿಂತೆ. I want to rule 14 planetary systems. Only 14 planetary systems. Right? Why I was telling this, I forgot the context. Prasadam. Right? That is very important. Now, once stomach is full, naturally, genital starts working. We need to procreate. Please procreate for Krishna as a Gruhastha. Produce wonderful children. Srila Prabhupada is not a son of a sannyasi. He's a son of a Gruhastha. That is the contribution Gruhasthas can give to this society. All sannyasis, all glorious personalities are taken birth to Gruhasthas, not through sannyasis. That means, look at the importance of Gruhasthas to the society. One Srila Prabhupada is enough to change the face of this world. One personality, that is the contribution we can give. Produce children, wonderful children like Srila Prabhupada. Yes, you are dovetailing, Yukta Vairagya. Another important thing I want to say, another important thing is, this, somehow our God brothers and God sisters fail in executing this. We go and work, Electronic City, ITPLs, MBAs, CAs, etc., etc. What do we do, sir, there? बैठ के भजन कर रहे हैं हम ऑफिस में. Karma. Prabhupada says, Ugra karma. Ugra karma means what? Ghora karma. Ghora karma means Ghora reactions. A lot of bad reactions for which we have to suffer. That is why Prabhupada quotes about Rupa Goswami's concept of at least 50%. Helu Kundalwada, Anta Mide, Tingle salary Anta Nade. Don't ask me the salary. Everything, my life is yours. Very tough, huh? Salary. Hey, Papa. Oh, yeah. Hey, Srila Prabhupada has told in a very novel way, you see. So 50%, kaise dena? Aisa nahi. That's why my Guru Maharaj says, at least 10%. Look at the Christians, the so-called Christians. He may be anybody, 10% of his earnings is for the Bible, is for the church. Minimum 10%. Suppose your take home is 10,000. I'm just taking an example. 1,000 rupees doesn't belong to you, yeah. Daivapala. It belongs to the Lord. Srila Prabhupada says, we Gruhasthas has to offer to the mission of the Lord. Where the mission of an Acharya and the Lord is propagated, no, we are supposed to offer. Like that, you are dovetailing your Ugra karma in the service of the Lord. If not, wo sirf karma hai. You may work anywhere, like any other your karmi friend. What is the difference between you two? You are offering the fruit to the Lord. That should be offered. So like this, you have to dovetail every activity. Every activity. And whichever of the 9 processes you are very attached to, PhD karo usme. Then what happens, as we discussed, all other 8 will smear over it. So we will execute. Hope I answered you, Prabhu, to some extent. Hope I answered you. Yes, any other questions? Any other comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for the wonderful class.
Hari.
I'd like to seek 2 clarifications. At the beginning of your class, you started that these 9 processes of devotional service. Anybody who has a total knowledge of this is declared as a Pandita.
Very, very learned person.
Yes.
Yes.
A Pandita is the biggest stumbling block in executing devotional service.
Perfectly correct.
Okay. And you need to help me to understand how a Pandita, his propensities could be culminated in becoming a Bhakta. That's one.
Yes.
Second aspect.
Okay.
In this shloka is speaking of the 9 processes of devotional service. In that, there's a specific reference of Vishnu Smaranam. There are 3 Vishnus. So now, on which of the 3 Vishnus we should do Smaranam? And
sorry, which of the?
No, which of the 3 Vishnus? Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, Karanodakshaya, Shirodakshaya Vishnu, or the 3 Vishnus? Which Vishnu we should have in mind for Smaranam? And alternatively, how can we try to understand the Shastric evidences of Vishnu and Krishna's connection? If you can throw some light on this, I'll be very much thankful.
What is the first question? Yeah. Pandita, learned person. Learned person. Okay. I think I answered this in the class. Prabhupada said, yes, if a person understands, assimilates he executes, is a very learned person, because he knows the secret of the scriptures. These 9 processes of devotional service is the secret of Vedic scriptures. Even though if somebody listens, if he doesn't get the mercy from a Vaishnava or a Guru, he cannot execute. Just the case of Duryodhana standing in front of Krishna during Gita Upanishad. No effect. No effect. Very secret, this thing. So the answer to the first question is, what is the first one? Pandita. Pandita is fine. He's a learned man. But here, there are some caveats I told, no? Pranadapi suvichana. That is the biggest thing that we have to follow. If you think you are a Pandita, you have to really, Sanatan Goswami says, no, my lord, everybody is calling me as a Pandita. But I don't know from where I came, what I am doing, where I will go. And call me as a Pandita. This Pandita should also have this knowledge. This Pandita should also execute Trunadapi Sunichana Tarudapi. And this Pandita should also ensure 10 offenses are taken care. Okay? So he has to pull himself down, basically. If not, he will have to face hardships. What is the second question? Vishnu Smaranam. Which Vishnu? Karana, Garbha, Kshira. Which Vishnu? Which Smarana? What is that? I'll ask experts here. So many BV leaders, so many pracharaks here. Which Vishnu? Okay. Which Vishnu? That's a very relevant point. Which Vishnu? Huh? Mahavishnu. Very well. Two-handed form. But he is asking which Vishnu. That's fine. Vishnu, Krishna, no difference. No difference. Only we are the ones who are expert in making difference actually. There's no difference. They're the same. Sorry, no, the question here is, which Vishnu among the 3 Vishnus, which Vishnu? In fact, the scripture says this particular Lord, Jagannath, is one without a second. Is one without a second. He's the same Adi Vishnu, he's the same Shyamasundara, he's the same everything. So it can be Vishnu, it can be any of them, Prabhu. We cannot distinguish because they are one personality. Whenever, yes, I am answering through you. So whenever you see, whenever in Vamana Lila he says, the Lord says, in my previous birth, he doesn't say, like he doesn't distinguish us. We are distinguishing him actually. He's a one person. Ekojo bhaunam vidadati kamaha. One Lord is supplying the necessities for all the living. It is mentioned as one Lord. So Vamana, Krishna, Narasimha is the one Lord. The 3 forms of Lord Vishnu, doesn't matter any Vishnu. He is the one Lord. There is no distinguish actually. That is the second question. What is the third one you mentioned? Scriptural references mentioning Krishna and Vishnu are the same. Who can help me? Yes, bro. Sorry? Same. They both are the same. That's what he's asking. Which give me his reference where Vishnu and Krishna are said to be the same actually. It's a good question. Somebody can help me. What does it say, Brahmatamita? Vilaja Jagadandanata, Vishnur Mahan Sahesya Kala Vishesho. So what does it say? What does it say? Okay. It's a very good question, Prabhu, actually, but I can give you a narration. No. Yes, exactly. I can give a narration where the Lord is mentioning that both are the same. One narration. When Sriman Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited Jagannath Puri, he fell flat. Correct? He was so ecstatic looking at Lord Jagannath, the Adi Purusha, the Supreme Lord. And what happened? I think during which time Jagannath was closed? and he didn't get an opportunity to have darshan of Lord Jagannath. Which time is that? Huh? Yes, exactly. Snana Yatra time. He was feeling very morose. Then what happened? The form of Lord Vishnu, Alarnath ji, came and he is telling, I'm the same Lord. Come over to me and have darshan. I'm the same Jagannath. Who said? The 400 form of Vishnu. This is one of the narration I can say, but really, any other specific point can we pluck out as an answer to a very good question? Yes. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Yeah. That is another beautiful. Different forms of Vishnu Prabhu. Etescham cha kalah purumsha Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam.
He gives the details of Krishna being the supreme. Then comes the four
Bhagavatam also talks
Chaturvyuha,
about
and
it.
then comes the Narayana,
So many sources.
and that is how Vishnu comes. And
No.
Vishnu, the name itself, the Vishnu, the meaning of Vishnu is all pervasive. That's it. It's Krishna himself. So there's no doubt about this.
Okay. Hope I answered to the level, Prabhu.
And as we know, Krishna's avatar also, 6 types of avatars: Yuga Avatara, Purusha Avatara. So, and these 3 avatars, what we are talking of, Garbhodakashayi, Kshirodakashayi, and Karanakashayi is one of the Purusha Avatara. So there are, yeah, that's what. So 6 types of avatars. So everything comes from source is Krishna. That's it.
Okay. Last question, last comment. Yes, Prabhu. Somebody smashed. Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, a very nice class. Thank you. You made a comment, Mukkanna Mammaganante. Could you elaborate a little bit more?
He sings actually. Purandaras sings. Mukkanna Mammaganante. He sings like this. That means from Brahma is said to be like the, what do you say, son who was born without a parent, correct? Right? And from Brahma's nostrils, from where he came? From the forehead. Lord Shiva came. That means he is his son actually, considered to be his son, Brahma's son. In that way, he is Mukkanna Mammaganante, is a grandson. Because somebody, they say, no, Lord Shiva is also same. Everybody is the same. Generally, this tussle is there in this world, Shaivism and Vaishnavism. So it's like that. He's said to be the grandson. Okay. Okay, I think we'll end the class 10 o'clock. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Hare Krishna. We are very fortunate to have His Grace Ravindra and Nitai with us. As such, Prabhuji was supposed to give his association few months back, but last moment there was some changes. Some other guest speaker from outside was about to come, and that's why we had to postpone it. And we are very fortunate to have his association today. Let us express our gratitude and thank him and request him to keep coming whenever possible and then give us his valuable association. Let us express our gratitude by chanting Hare Krishna mantra once. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you very much, Guruji. Also, today's prasadam is co-sponsored by His Grace Varada Gopal Prabhu. Let us pray to the Lordships to shower their choices blessings on the Prabhuji and his whole family. Let us chant Hare Krishna mantra once. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Also, after the prasadam, if any devotees would like to offer some service to their lordships, Hare Krishna. We are in need of some devotees in the assistant is needed in the kitchen. Some kitchen cleaning and winding up service. If anybody wants to offer service after the prasadam, they can come to the kitchen area. And also very soon, maybe by this week, we'll be circulating the one Google sheet requesting in case if any of you want to volunteer in the on Sunday. Hare Krishna. Sunday services will give you the choice, whichever services you would like to offer your service, and then you can choose that, and that will be a great assistance. At the same time, you will also have some engagement. And just although this is announced, again, I'm repeating it, that there is a slight change in the timings of the prasadam and other things which we used to do. Previously, before the lockdown, we would follow that the breakfast prasadam, those who come for the Mangalarti, it would be served between 7:15 to 7:35, and then followed by the Shringar Darshan at 7:45. Again, we are going back to the same schedule, and we'll try to serve the Sunday feast prasadam by 10 a.m. ಸೊ ಮೊದಲು ಕೂಡ ನಾವು 7:15 7:35 ತನಕ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರಸಾದ್ ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ. ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ 7:45 ಶೃಂಗಾರ ದರ್ಶನ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು. ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾವು ಅದೇ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ 7:15 7:35 ತನಕ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರಸಾದಂ ಯಾರು ಮಂಗಳಾರತಿಗೆ ಬಂದಿರ್ತಾರೋ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಸಂಡೇ ಫೀಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರಸಾದಂ ಭಾಗವತ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ 10 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಪಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಆಲ್ಸೋ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ distributing the coupon system. Devotees may be wondering when they come, till now it was not there, how come suddenly, like, no, if you don't get the coupon, whether will you get prasad or not and all. No, this is mainly to get an idea of how many devotees are coming and like how much to cook, because it's a great difficulty to understand. Sometimes we cook expecting that more devotees come. Like Jagannath Mishra festival last week, we thought that devotees will come and we are thinking of cooking for 300. Then last moment we thought, okay, we'll cook for 250. But only like no, around 180 to 200 devotees were there, and then the prasadam remains. Then again a tension of what to do with the prasadam. Or sometimes we have cooked for in the Gaur Purnima, we took the count and we cooked for, we thought of cooking for 500, then almost seeing the count 550, but last moment it was almost 600. So there is a great challenge in the devotees who are serving in the kitchen to check how much. Yes, hopefully if we can get some Akshay Patra. And basically the duty has to coordinate that whole Akshay Patra. That's the main challenge. So that's why we request the devotees, whenever the counting, the request comes to give you a count, please kindly give the actual count which is going to come. As well as we are trying to distribute the coupon till 9 o'clock. Even if you don't take the coupon, no problem, you'll get the prasadam. We are not stopping anybody from taking prasadam, but at the same time it will help us to understand the count. So the coupon will be given at the near the gift stall till 9 o'clock. Devotees, as soon as you come, please collect the coupons. Hare Krishna. ನಾವು ಪ್ರತಿ ಸಲ ಮೊದಲು ಕೂಡ ಕೌಂಟ್ ಗೆ ಅಂತ ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಕಳಿಸ್ತಿದ್ವಿ ಗೂಗಲ್ ಶೀಟ್. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಯಾವಾಗ ಅದು ಬರುತ್ತೋ ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಅದನ್ನ ಫಿಲ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಅದರಿಂದ ನಮಗೆ ಕಿಚನ್ ಡಿವೋಟೀಸ್ಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಸಾದವನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಐಡಿಯಾ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಲ್ದೇ ಪ್ರತಿ ಭಾನುವಾರ ಗಿಫ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟಾಲ್ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಕೂಪನ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ 9 ಗಂಟೆ ತನಕ. ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಕೂಪನ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ. Also now at 11:15 a.m. there is a meeting with all the Matajis or devotees who are assisting in the Rajbhog cooking in the conference hall. 11 ಕಾಲಿಗೆ ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ರಾಜ್ಭೋಗ್ ಕುಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸೇವೆ ಸಲ್ಲಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದಾರೋ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಕಾನ್ಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಹಾಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ 11 ಕಾಲಿಗೆ ಬರ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್. Thank you. Now there is some announcement regarding the Krishna's kingdom. They want to read out the report, and also our Venugopal will take it ahead. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
So, as many of you are aware, we have the temple conducts Sunday school for children. So this past 2 years, we have been doing this in the online format for obvious reasons. So this year also we did second successful year of online Sunday school, the Krishna's Kingdom program. So on behalf of the temple, we would like to appreciate and recognize the devotees who have given their time and dedication for this service. First, I would like to read a brief report for the pleasure of Neritis and Srila Prabhupada. So this year, we had the program entirely in online format. We had 2 batches on Sundays, a morning batch and the evening batch. Each batch had 3 modules of Gopal, Keshav and Madhav. There were standards 1 to 3, 4 to 6 and 7 to 10. And we had the online registrations, 90 children had registered from various parts of the country and also some from abroad. So the teachers for this year were for Gopal module, the youngest group, Prema Vinodini Mataji, Radha Chandrika Mataji, Prema Madhurya Mataji, and Yamuna Mataji. And Keshav module, Sarvaguna Janava Mataji, Tejaswini Mataji, Revati Leelamai Mataji, and Srividya Mataji. And, for Madhav module, the teachers were Leela Priya Mataji, Mahalakshmi Mataji, Prema Priya Radhika Mataji, and Anandini Vrajeshwari Mataji. So we also had an important service of, since it was all online, coordinating the online Zoom aspect. So we had support of His Grace Bhavarupa Krishna Prabhu, Maruti Prabhu, and Gauri Shankar Prabhu all through the year. So we also had support from Surya Prabhu for video editing and the music, and we had a lot of children's activities online that we coordinated. So he helped out a lot in those aspects, along with some support during the weeks for Zoom as well. And also, lastly, for the Balotsav, we had support of Girdhari Leela Prabhu in many of the design aspects for the online Balotsav program. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Thank you. So yeah, I just want to request His Grace Narari Chaitanya Prabhu to kindly hand over a small token of appreciation on behalf of our temple to the volunteers of this year. And on behalf of the entire Krishna's Kingdom team of teachers and coordinators, I would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to the authorities for giving us this opportunity to serve. So now I just request Sri Balaji Prabhu to kindly call out the names. And
Hare Krishna. So we'll start with the Gopal module teachers. May I request Her Grace Prema Vinodini Mataji to come forward. I would also request Radha Prema Madhurya Mataji, Yamuna Mataji. Please come forward, Hare Krishna. Prema Vinodini Mataji. These are Gopal module teachers. Prema Madhuri Mataji. That mic stand. Yamuna Mataji. Remove the mic stand. Yamuna Mataji. I request Keshav module teachers to come forward. Sarvaguna Jana Mataji. I would request, this is Keshav module. Sarvaguna Jana Mataji. Tejaswini Mataji. Revati Leelamai Mataji, and Shri Vidya Mataji. I would request kindly this Mataji to come forward. Tejashwini Mataji, Revati Leelamai Mataji, and Shri Vidya Mataji. I would request Madhav module teachers to come forward. Leela Priya Mataji. I would request Pramadita Prabhu to and take over the. We request Ravindra Prabhu to hand over the gifts. So for Leela Priya Mataji, would request Pramadita Prabhu to receive the gift. Leela Priya Mataji is here. I would request Mahalakshmi Mataji to come forward. Then Prema Priya Radhika Mataji to please come forward. And Anandini Brajeshwari Mataji to please come forward. Prema Priya Radhika Mataji. Do we have Anandini Brajeshwari Mataji? Now we'd request the Zoom coordinators. It's a wonderful seva for the online seva that we do. Bahurupa Krishna Prabhu, please come forward. Maruti Prabhu and Gauri Shankar Prabhu. Maruti Prabhu and Gauri Shankar Prabhu. The next seva was video editing and music for Balotsav, Surya Prabhu. Do we have Surya Prabhu here? We'll go to the next one. Poster designing for Balotsav, Giridhari Leela Prabhu. Do we have Giridhari Leela Prabhu? No. So we'll hand over the gift to them later. Allowed once Hare Krishna Mahamantra for these wonderful devotees and the services that they provided. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The last announcement, there is a Vedic cultural contest that is coming up. The details will be, and this is for children. So the details, please keep a watch out on the WhatsApp groups, and there is a poster which is placed outside. So please promote this in your residence, in your apartments, to the schools, wherever possible. Hare Krishna. We'll have Jagannath Ashtakam now.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining us for this session. We just ended now. Tomorrow we will start at 8 a.m. Vandavans Hare Krishna.